Israelites being Israelite foreigners scattered across the four corners of the earth, including within America, Babylon the Great, the main place for captivity. And we are the Most High Yahweh's chosen people of the nation of Israel. So without further ado, as always, in Allah Shran Kadash, being the Holy Tongue, as in the Paleo Hebrew, being the ancient Hebrew. I'm going to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barach, Barach, all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, who is our strength and our Redeemer, and our light and our salvation. In the same tongue, I'm utter Mashana Kabawadium, Laha Sequanium Shah, Galabaraka, meaning double honors to the apostles and elder bishops, great millstone, and Shalom, honor salutations to Bayash Shedabada. All right, meaning the house of David, of the 1/3 elect remnant of the nation of Israel, along with the rest of the 1/3 elect men, women, and children of Israel. All right, so fellow servant Malak Rayab, back at it again. Another video through the spirit of prophecy, being a testimony of our Lord and Savior, Hamashach Habashai, who the master of the world ignorantly refers to Jesus Christ. All right, now the righteous our Lord willing. All right, this video will be further edifying to the elect. So this is a quick video update on Trump's military birthday parade that has reportedly flopped. All right, which is another omen, another downfall of Esau Edom's empire. Okay, as in America, Babylon the Great. All right, by way of the shameful spewing being casted upon his glory. All right, pursuing Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. All right, so I'm going to play a couple of these videos, a few moments of these videos, starting with the first one here on Secular Talk by Kyle Kalinske, going into the report of, Trump's humiliating, military birthday parade flop, which was supposed to be a display of, Esau's strength, right, through his military, which the extension of his sword, which is his blessing being the sword, but ended up not happening that way because everything is spiritual. And once again, there's another omen. Trump's military birthday parade flop is another omen of his downfall. Okay, so I'm going to play this. I'm going to start this video in fair use.
There's a massive war going on now with Iran that Trump just said we're likely to jump into. Okay, so I mean, just what a failure! It was a failure at every level. Again, I thought it was going to be fascist looking and scary looking, and it would be like hyper efficient, and it would be almost like something out of a comic book or out of a superhero movie where like we're the villains and this is what it looks like when the villains are like firing on all cylinders. Instead, bro, this shit was like a Timu military parade. I mean, goddamn. So you have to tune into the show tomorrow because I'll have all the pictures and all the videos. I'll be able to break it all down for you in more detail. But so we have that, and then at the same time, y'all, at the same time, the No Kings protests were happening, not just all over the United States, in big cities and medium cities and small cities. There were also No Kings protests overseas. There was tremendous solidarity shown with the protesters all around the world. So the first estimates that I've seen is amazing. Is 4 to 6 million people showed up. So, and that's the other thing. I can't believe I forgot to mention this. I'm burying the lead. Basically, nobody showed up to Trump's fucking birthday military parade. They said they were expecting at least 200,000 people. About 100,000 showed up, like half of what they expected. And by the way, the area where they were in was so large that, it was very sparse that you saw an actual person. It just looked sad. It just looked genuinely sad. It really is a sign of the incompetence of this regime and the decay of the American empire.
He said it. Trump's military birthday parade flop. It was another omen of the incompetence of this regime, and more importantly, the decay / downfall of this American empire, as you mentioned. And he's not and see, this the spirit of this revelation is being further, acknowledged by the masses in America, Babylon the Great, whether they acknowledge it openly or not. A lot of these people have this sentiment in mind because they see the writings on the wall of this place. Right? Economically, this place is through. The economy is over $37 trillion in debt. People are bugging out, hence the No Kings national protests, which there's speculation this was set up, all right, specifically by George Soros, targeting these particular these pro-democratic areas. But yet, these are the times we're living in. You know, we're witnessing the downfall of our enemies. It says in Sirach 25:7, mainly Esau, Edom, through his empire. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this last video. Play a few moments of this last video.
Let's be real. You've probably seen me in a few interesting places, but what if I told you there's a place where you...
Here. Donald Trump wanted to host a massive military extravaganza a la Bastille Day in France or Kim Jong-un in North Korea. We don't do that in America because it's weird and fascistic. Donald Trump insisted on doing it anyway. That spurred counter-protests across the country. The counter-protests drew more people than ever before in American history, bringing 2% of the total U.S. population into the streets. And meanwhile, Trump's parade, which was the impetus for all of this, drew such a sparse crowd that the most viewed moment from the entire event was this. That creak of the tires might actually haunt Donald Trump until the day he dies. Do you know how quiet a parade has to be to literally hear the tires turning? Like, I've been to funerals, really sad ones, that were somehow more jubilant than Donald Trump's birthday parade. And of course, the Trump team is well aware of how embarrassing all of this is, which is why Trump's communications director, Stephen Chung, came out to rewrite history on behalf of Dear Leader. He wrote, "The so-called No Kings protests have been a complete and utter failure with minuscule attendance. It is sad Democrats and liberals would rather support criminals and illegals instead of celebrating the 250th anniversary of our great U.S. Army and Flag Day. But many more Americans are commemorating our brave military men and women who have given the ultimate sacrifice and those who continue to serve our country." Now, first of all, a complete and utter failure with minuscule attendance? Yeah, so, Gavin Newsom tweeted a video that I think pretty adeptly debunks this little bit of wish casting by the Trump team. Second of all, even if the No Kings protest did have minuscule attendance, which of course it didn't, but humor me here, you pretty much surrender your ability to make that claim when these are the images coming out of your rally. Now, I should note that 200,000 people were expected to attend. Isn't real. It really is no wonder that people didn't want to go to his birthday parade. In fact, it didn't even really look like he wanted to be at his birthday parade.
In 1914, years of escalating competition between European alliances culminate in the outbreak of the First World War. The two sides engage in the savage war of attrition, defined by opposing trenches, barbed wire.
That might explain the squeaky wheel phenomenon. Even the birthday boy, who demanded that taxpayers give him a $50 million gift so that he can feel special, could barely keep his eyes open.
All right, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 15. It says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest that bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness." All right, here's the point in verse 16. "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yeshai's right hand shall be turned into thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." All right, so shameful spewing is being cast upon the glory of he who is sought out to keep people drunk, all right, to keep people asleep, to keep people in that slumber state, docile, okay, and distracted from what he is doing behind closed doors, okay, within his shadow government on behalf of the wicked elite, central crime banking families, all right, of the Zionist regime, all right. and looking to keep people docile through this drunkenness, through Esau's wine of fornication. All right, specifically, as it mentions here in Jeremiah 51:7, it says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh by Shemeshai's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, Shalom to Akim on the comment board, Yahweh by Shemeshai Barakatham, walk the water for tuning in. All right, Jeremiah 51:7 for the top. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh by Shemeshai's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, so the nations of the world, including within America, Babylon the Great, are in a frenzy. They're mad at the corruption and the tyranny and the wickedness, all right, of this devil. All right, this says in second Ezra, the 6th chapter, corruption is overpassed, hence why, hence the whole, the intentions of the whole national No Kings protests, protesting against authoritarianism. Okay, ultimately Esau's corruption in America, Babylon the Great. Okay, that this current presidential regime Fred represents. Okay, which is spiritual. For that No Kings, the title of that national No Kings protest is a nomen omen. All right, as Elder Pascal Bar likes to bring out, nomen omen in the Latin term meaning name prediction, because it's because really there's not going to be any more kings of the Edomites ruling this earth anymore after Yahushua returns with the angels. All right, to wage war with the angels as in the messengers of the world, currently within the within the hands of the Edomites, Esau, Edom. All right, so and on behalf of Esau's messengers, his angels, meaning messengers, okay, through his military, okay, this is let me jump down to Jeremiah 51:30. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might has failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Okay, because because these men are going to be fighting, in Esau military. Okay, are going to be reduced to their, going to have their hearts, their minds reduced to the likes of women. Meaning what? In a very vulnerable, weak state, very faithless once they see Yahushua, okay, returning in his full, in his full celestial glory, not returning as a man, as it says in Isaiah 47:3. And this is going to cause, these devils to forbear to fight. Okay, on top of that, all right, there's going to be a draft. There's going to, Esau is going to bring that draft. All right, your brother, from the GMSKC branch, recently did a video, going into how the last time Esau had a draft was around the Vietnam War, around 73. Okay. All right. So in that time was a hell of a lot different, as compared to now, where within this Gen Z, generation that we're currently living in. Okay. That has, it has, this current Gen Z generation has fed bred weak males. Okay. Case in point, a lot, those who are, have inherited, the traits and characteristics of women, okay, full of estrogen as opposed to testosterone. A lot of these men, okay, these weak men are further byproducts of the current state of America, Babylon the Great, decaying, as Kyle Kalinske had pointed out, okay, because America is a joke, because that shameful spilling being cast upon this place, which is a reward of the wickedness that Esau has used America to, to perpetuate, all right, and to normalize through his sensationalism of his devices, all right, his satanic devices such as feminism, okay, making sodomy, illegal, all right, 10 years ago through the Obama administration, all right, and all other manners of fornication, and other wickedness such as pride, okay, an unclean spirit that is greatly despised by the Lord Yahweh by Shemeshai, pursuing the Proverbs, the 6th chapter. So there's countless other examples as to why America, Babylon the Great is decaying, and the main reason is because the main reason is a spiritual reason. Okay, for this place is a sinful kingdom. So Yahweh by Shemeshai is destroying this place internally from within. Okay, hence why this place is being perceived globally as a joke. Okay, why the world respects America, Babylon the Great, less than they ever have, because this is a further fulfillment of prophecy. All right, so this is Jeremiah 51 and 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen, destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Okay, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth into heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, as it says in Revelation 18 chapter. You know, they shall lament. Man, if you get that real quick. Revelation 18 and 9 says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Okay, so they're going to witness the public display of the destruction of America, Babylon the Great. Okay, and even before they even see that, you know, they're not going to want anything to do with this impending judgment. All right, that is inevitable. It's getting ready to happen. Okay, by the hands of America's foreign enemies, including Russia and Iran. You know, hence the escalating tensions between Iran and them gutter rats over there. Okay, because this is all leading into the destruction of America. Okay, and before that external judgment happens, all right, this devil is going to continue to receive internal judgment in terms of his empire decaying that much more, making him to be publicly perceived as a reproach and a gazing stock and a laughing stock. Okay, another ensign that the curses of Israel, the Israelites, are being transferred over to this devil and these other heathen nations, specifically this devil. Okay, we're seeing the Deuteronomy 30 and 7. So this is what that whole, military birthday parade flop on behalf of Trump, Fred, represents. The downfall of Esau, Edom. So this is a wonderful time to be alive, to witness the downfall of this devil. Okay, to finally witness the downfall of this devil, this global tyrant. Okay, so let's go back to Jeremiah 51 and 7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh by Shemeshai's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, so it's going to get Psalm 137 and 7, drawing that parallel between Edom and Babylon. Is in the virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay, Babylon the Great. Okay, further revealing who rules this current empire, biblically known as Babylon the Great. Okay, and similar aliases such as the virgin daughter of Babylon and so forth. This is Psalm 137 and 7. Remember, O Lord Yahweh, by Shemeshai, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee, as thou hast served us. All right. So you're receiving, there's a recompense that's being issued, all right, for all the wickedness that has been done to the children of Israel on behalf of you, Edomites specifically. All right. So part of your judgment is your empire being destroyed. All right, and while it's simultaneously being destroyed, you were simultaneously being mocked and being made a reproach and a gazing stock and laughing stock out of. Okay, hence the omen of Trump's military birthday parade flop. Okay, which was expected to be, like he said, Kyle Kalinske has said, was expected to be like a a great intimidating show of military force or military display, through the marching and the tanks and all that. But it was quite the contrary, man. It was pathetic. Okay, just like the military of the Edomites is really pathetic. Okay, for the fact you have transformers and women in your military. Okay, even though you do have you have the Green Beret and so forth, it's not the same. Okay, why? Because you were losing grip on your empire, as by way of biblical prophecy. So this is Isaiah 14 and 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did is weaken the nations? So somebody put, let me see what the brother put up. Okay, Khan, the brother put up, brother GMS Yawasop, hopeful luck 777, brother Yawasop put up Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay, like a woman. Okay. You know, unscathed woman. Hence, the alias of America, Babylon the Great, as a virgin daughter of Babylon. But you will be touched. You will be penetrated by these 200 million ICBM missile warheads. There's nothing you can do about that. All right? That's why these devils are going to be hiding underground. All right? Prophesying in Revelation 6 chapter. All right? In Amos 9:2, looking to hide themselves from him who sits on the throne. Okay? Referring to Yahweh Shai. Because they know what's coming to them. Okay? Shalom to the brother Damawati out there, GMS Orlando, Yahweh Shemi Shai Barakatah. All right, the water once again to Akim tuning in. Before I go on to continue, get some more of these precepts off the board. Okay. Let me see. Shalom, brother. I'm Raya. Once again, the brother Yawasab, brother Tazawam, brother Damawati, everyone else. He may end up tuning in, y'all, by Shimmy Sharper Thumb. Same brother put up Nahum 3:13. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. All right. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open into thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. Okay. All right, because your lines of defense are being compromised. Will be compromised through your missile deflect systems. Okay, being over, being able to be surpassed by, these hypersonic and ICBM missile warheads, missiles. Okay, these hypersonic and ICBM missiles. That Edomite Mark Milley had mentioned. The Edomite General Mark Milley had mentioned. Okay, how how America's defense systems cannot defend itself against Russia and China's hypersonic missiles. So what more so the ICBM missiles, okay, that could travel, Mach speeds, okay, one of the highest speed frequencies that ICBM missile, can travel, okay, fulfilling prophecy in Revelation 18 chapter. Okay, of America, Babylon the Great being destroyed in 1 hour. For those missiles can reach America, okay, from the northeastern hemisphere of the world within about 20 to 30 minutes, man. So even before this full-fledged war takes place in the Armageddon one, we're going to witness civil war. Okay. All right, so I'm going to make this short because the phone is overheating, and I believe that's what causes it to skip. So, But Tazwan put up Ezekiel 30:11, Khan. Yep. It says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. So not only is it bad enough that your defense, your lines of defense are weak. Okay, you're gonna have weak men, which are really males, fighting on your behalf, and they're gonna be slaughtered, man. Okay, this is prophesied in the book of 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter. Okay, let me get that real quick. All right, 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. Let me see where it's at. Yeah, it mentions the bridegroom. Let me see. Yep. 2nd Ezra 16:33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. And here's the point, verse 34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right, because these bridegrooms, the number of these bridegrooms is going to be drafted. Put on the front line to be slaughtered, man. Okay, so this And you know, so this is the, you know, this is the language. This is the language that people are speaking now. Okay, misery, hopelessness, helplessness. Okay, anguish, anxiety, death, destruction, calamity, commotion. Okay, hence why St. Luke 21, you know, prophesied about the distress of the nations, man. St. Luke 21 and 25. Okay, because these are the times we're living in, very distressful times. Okay, further contributed by weak leadership. As a master of his soul is a servant. Regarding those who have those whose minds is to conform to America, Babylon the Great. Okay, they're gonna fall with this place, right? Because Esau is finished, man. You know, so this is back in Isaiah 14 and 12. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?" All right, Lucifer meaning light bearer. They, you know, he who upholds the light, which is really Yahushua, that day, that morning star. Okay. All right. Pursuing Daniel, the 10th chapter, Daniel 10 verse 5 to 6, mentions how, you know, it describes the light of his countenance, which is his wisdom. Okay. So he's a true example of Lucifer. Okay. But this term is being used in this account to mock you devils. Okay, the so-called light bringers. You know, hence Illuminati. Okay, you're so illuminated that you're looking weak, militarily. In the military is supposed to be the prime example of the state of a nation's strength. Okay, but we're at that point now where America's military is looking like a joke, man. Okay, so this is Isaiah 14, and and it's ironic because you devils been weakening the nations through your military. Okay, all right, through World War, the first two wars, Vietnam War. Okay, the Punic Wars, the Seminole Wars. Okay, the war that eventually led into the Haitian Revolution on behalf of them French Edomites. Okay, going to war with Levi over there in Haiti. There's countless other examples of you flexing your military strength, but now you're looking weak. No one fears your military anymore, because this is not 1945, man. Okay, you're not the only empire that possesses weapons of mass destruction. That's why you're looking to destroy Iran, okay, by interrupting their uranium, their nuclear program, by limiting their targeting their uranium, enrichment to which is used to develop nuclear weapons, to prevent them from further developing nuclear weapons or developing nuclear weapons in general. Okay, to eliminate them so you could be the ultimate proxy in the so-called Middle East and Western Asia. Okay, because you live by carnal means through your strength of your blessing, your sword. But that's failing you. Okay, because once again, these other nations have weapons of mass destruction, as in Russia, China, your two biggest foreign enemies. That so happens to be a part of that BRICS alliance. Then Saudi Arabia is with them. Other dragons of Arabia, such as the United Arab Emirates. So you have many enemies. And on top of that, it says in Revelation 17 and 16, the beast shall burn the whore. Your own European conglomerate comrades going to turn on you, man, over sovereign indifferences and further oppression by way of your wine, your Western philosophy, especially through your democracy, hiding behind your democracy to justify ruling over these nations, man, with rigor. So this whole no kings national protest is a further omen of people getting fed up with your shit, man. People getting fed up with your corruption, with your hypocrisy. Okay, with your interference in matters that doesn't concern you, especially in a international sense, through these sanctions and these tariffs and so forth. So not only is there going to be a civil war okay, is a further example of the stain on your honor, your dishonor, so to say, the shameful spewing on the glory of your strength, which is carnality and witchcraft, the legacy of America, Babylon the Great. But your glory is also going to be compromised by your foreign enemies. So you're going to be surrounded. All right, this is Isaiah 14:13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, or God. I will sit also upon a mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Like it says in 2 Thessalonians 2:4, how you would look to sit in the seat of the Most High. This is what your God complex is all about. So-called white supremacy. We're better than you, so you bow down and only do what we say. But the only convincing fact that you had, all right, to persuade these nations to bow down before you is the strength of your military, but it's not looking so strong anymore. So this is Isaiah 14:15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? You see? All right, let's go back to that, man. Where was that? Slovakia. Go back to this real quick.
Seems like you always run out of something right before a trip, like sunscreen.
In a major update,
I want to get his face on the screen again. All right, give me 1 second.
it didn't even really look like he wanted to be at his birthday parade.
Yeah, look at this shit, man. Looking disinterested, okay, unenthusiastic. But this is supposed to be your military. This was his idea, so to say. So it was reported. But yeah, his energy is not even in it. Okay? Because everything is spiritual, man. Esau is through. Okay? So is this the man? Is this the man that... is this the man? Esau, Edom? Isaiah 14:16. They that see thee shall nearly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as a raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. All right. So this great death, okay, is gonna ultimately, this great destruction is going to ultimately cast you down. And before it does, shameful spewing will continue to be casted on your glory. All right. This is Obadiah. Verse 3, the pride of thine heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Okay? And his military was a perfect example, of this devil's sentiment of global rulership, global dominion through his blessing. Okay, which, with being the sword, which is his military industrial complex, is an extension of. Okay, hence that commercial back in the day, that Marines commercial, the few, the proud, the Marines. Okay, this is Obadiah 4. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Yashai. All right, and the eagle represents the vilest of its the foulest of the air, okay, symbolic of iniquity. All right, going back to the symbol of the same symbol of Egypt, all right, which is the same symbol of the pagan Greco-Roman Empire that Esau was ruling. That's what happens to also be the same symbol of America. Hence why before Biden, at the end of Biden's administration, he called for some sort of executive order or legislation to make the eagle, the official symbol of America. Why is that? Because the eagle represents Esau. Okay, as it mentions in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Okay, around the 48th verse. Okay, if he, who the eagle represents, who came over here speaking in languages that we didn't understand, because we were speaking broken Hebrew. Okay, through the native tongue, in the native tongues, Algonquin of Gad, for example, Nawal of Issachar. He came over here speaking French, Spanish, Portuguese, English. And that's for the fulfillment of that prophecy I just mentioned, Deuteronomy 28, verses 48 to 49. All right? For identifying who the eagle is, Esau, Edom. All right? So this is verse 5. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? You didn't leave shit for our people, man, especially during the Spanish Inquisition. You killed the buffalo supply to kill off the food and clothing supply to the indigenous tribes in the Northern Kingdom. Okay, you were compromising crops, burning crops. You're doing all kinds of shit, man. Okay, you sought out to leave our people destitute, and now that's that's being reciprocated upon you. Okay, by Yahweh Shem Yashai. This is verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Okay, through the Holy Spirit of this word, tearing down your strongholds and stumbling blocks. And this is why you hate us, who rebukes you in the gate. Okay. This is verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay, because like it says in Ecclesiastes 10:16, woe be unto thee when thy king is a child. And Trump is the epitome of that. A big, overgrown 79-year-old Edomite child. Just another typical Edomite. This is why this world is, it says in 2 Ezra 14:17, is dying by age. Because it's in desperate need of new management, okay, and righteousness. Okay, for there's only peace and righteousness. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of life is eternal through Hamashiach and Yahweh our Lord. So being that this devil drinks iniquity like waters, it mentions in the book of Job, okay, making sin, iniquity, sin upon sin, the standard of living in America. This is why America is at an all-time decay, and it's only going to get worse before this place is ultimately hit with nukes, as is prophesied. And in the midst of that, Yahweh Shai will unleash fire from the heavens, okay, from the chariots, concentrated heat, laser beams, all right, incinerating the army of you Edomites, okay, before the nobles of your kings, the nobility of Edom is shackled as the first fruits of slavery. This is prophesied in Psalm 149:8. In the midst of the destruction, the people that were once confederate with you are going to contribute into your destruction. So I'm going to go ahead and end it off on that note. All right. I pray this lesson was for the edifying, his order into elect. Give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch Kodash. Once again, double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone, for teaching and ruling well, and shalom, honor, salutations, all right, to the elect, okay, scattered across the four corners of the earth. All right, shalom to Akim and come aboard the water for the precepts, all right, and for tuning in, and on to the next one. A ball.